So, thinking routines. We're going to do a thinking routine. Are you all ready for this? This is a wonderful book, Making Thinking Visible, How to Promote Engagement, Understanding, and Independence for All Learners. It's a concrete book. It's the best book I've read in education, the most useful book I've read in education in the last 20 years. And it came out maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Concrete thinking strategies that you can use that are very, very simple. Each one's 1 or 2 words. We're going to do about 7 of them in the next 3 days. So you'll get some here. You can go online and find them for free. They're on our Performance Cycle website. Some of them are, and you'll go through some today. Thinking routines means that it's a structure for making our thinking visible, for making kids' thinking visible. Yeah?
Okay, so this routine that you're teaching us, would we do this, or one of these, I guess we could call them projects, would we do this weekly?
That's such a great question. Yeah, that's a...
Or like stretch it over the whole unit? I'm trying to like tie it into our reading schedule.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. So that's a great question. The Performance Cycle, when do you do it? How much do you do, right? It can be done in 45 minutes, right? I can actually do a workshop in 40. I go into classrooms and work with kids too, and I can take them through the Performance Cycle in 45 minutes. I can take them through it in an hour. We might not do the whole thing in 45 minutes, but we can build community, do some vocabulary work with the text, do an interactive reading of the text, and have them create something afterwards in 45 minutes. So it can be that. It can be a week. You know, on Monday, you're going to build some community and enter the ideas of a book you'll be reading. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to do entering text and comprehending. On Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have them create something, and on Friday, we're going to share it and reflect on it. It can be a unit, 4 weeks, right? We're going to build community at the beginning of our year, school year, when the kids come in September. We're going to do a bunch of building community things where we put photos and their identities, and they do selfies and identity pictures, and they draw things and put them on the wall. And we'll set up our rules, and we'll talk about classroom dispositions, and we'll do all that fun stuff of building community. Then we're going to enter text, but we're going to enter a big theme. We're going to do all these books for the semester, because our semester is going to be about building things. And then we're going to read each of these books in different ways and exciting ways. And then they're going to do this big project where they're going to first make their own homes, and then we're going to build a city with cardboard in our room by December, right? So boom, that's a big unit, right? Huge unit. So you can do it big, all the way from little to big. That's a good question. Thank you. Okay? All right. So thinking routine, we're going to do one right now. The thinking routines you can kind of insert along the way. We use them a lot for entering text, for comprehending, and for reflection. So here's one. One's called, you may know it, See, Think, Wonder. Let me see where we are with this. How many people know See, Think, Wonder? Oh, nice. Okay, great. All right, so this is going to be really wonderful and new. If you go in your packet, you'll find a handout, and it says See, Think, Wonder. So please take that out. Anybody seen the show Chef's Table? Have you watched that on Netflix? I love that. We're really into that right now. My wife and I watch it. We've been watching it every night. So it's about the best restaurants and best chefs in the world, right? So you can't watch a show like this and not, as a teacher, and not think about teaching, right? The best chefs in the world, what do? They find the best ingredients first. You can't make a good meal without using good ingredients. So for instance, the tomato from your garden tastes a lot better than the tomato you buy at Walmart, right? Because it's made fresh, it's grown fresh. Then they take those ingredients and they combine them into a beautiful recipe, a beautiful dish, and then they serve that dish in their restaurant to create the dining experience, right? And that's what happens at the best restaurants in the world. So I want you to think about these 3 days also as being chefs. You're the chefs, right, that are creating this beautiful experience for your kids. But first you need lots of good ingredients. And hopefully I'm giving you some of these good ingredients that you can use. But you're going to make the own dish that you want to make. You may make the dish that I make. I'm making a dish here for you too. But you're going to create your own dish probably, following in any way you want to, and you're going to deliver your experience to your kids. So what I'm saying is here, take the ingredients you want to. If you think something I'm doing is completely nuts and you would never do it with your kids, that's great. Don't do it. But if you think this thinking routine is the most brilliant thing you've ever seen, you can take this and bring this into your classroom. So you may not take this whole workshop and take it with you. So take what you want, put in your pocket, and take it with you. That's what it's meant for. It's a really flexible way of thinking about professional development and teaching. You take what you need and use it in the way that you want. Okay? This is one you'll probably want to take. So 3 questions. What do you see? What do you think about what you see? And what does it make you wonder? What questions do you have? Okay? You ready for this? It's really easy, really fun. I'm going to show you a picture. Here you go. Hopefully you can see it. If you really have trouble seeing it back there, you can open to your book. I'd rather you not read it, though, so try to not look at the words and just look at the picture. This same picture is on page. Do you mind if I just dive in here? Same picture is on, they don't have pages. Same picture is like on about the third 2 pages of the book, if you need to see it close up, but don't read the words. All right. So what I'd like for you to do, what do you see? Now, the way we do this is really hard to do. You have to just describe things you see. You can't interpret in the first round. You can't talk about what you think you see, right? You have to really describe what you see. Like, I see 2 eyes and a triangle between the eyes and a bunch of sort of semicircles that are parallel, and I guess you could sort of say those appear to be feet. That's almost getting to interpretation. But I see, you can say 3 rockets right there in the foreground. I see a wild thing from where the wild things are. Okay? So I want you to just look really carefully and write down first just some concrete things that you see. Don't say, I see a little girl doing this, because you don't really know what she's doing, right? So I see a little girl.
Are we focusing on one thing, or?
You can focus on the entire picture. There's a lot to see here. So write down, you don't need to write, you can't write everything you see. There's a lot here. So write down some things that strike you, some things that capture your attention. That little wild thing captures my attention because it takes me back to Sindak where the wild things are. So that's why I would write, I see what a monster or a wild thing that, you know. Okay? So just take a couple minutes to do that. Okay, and in an indoor voice, this room's very echoey. In an indoor voice with, you had with a person next to you, just in 2s, maybe trios if you want. Let's do trios. In trios, share some things with each other that you see, okay? Share some things that you see. Okay, everybody. Who's got a couple things? Let's share some things out with the wider room. Who's got something you see in something interesting you see in the, yeah, what do you see?
A one-legged baby doll wearing a diaper.
A one-legged baby doll wearing a diaper. A one-leg, where's the, oh wow, look at that, yeah. One-legged baby doll wearing, I never saw that before. Something else you see, anybody have something else? Wait, where are you? A football helmet, right up here in the front. Something else you see? A book all about engineering. It says engineering on the side of it. That seems important. Right there in the center, right? What else do you see?
Tennis ball and racket.
Tennis ball and racket.
Broken racket.
A broken racket. That's interesting. Is it broken? Oh, yeah, the strings are all...
Rosie the Rosie the Riveter.
You see Rosie the Riveter where?
Above the football helmet.
Oh, yeah, Rosie the Riveter over here. A little doll or something like Rosie the Riveter. Good. Okay, you guys did great. That's exactly right. What do you see? Really concrete things that you see. Now we're going to give you some time to... Now, what would be wrong at that level is to say, I see a tower over there. She's building a tower. Because we don't know what that's a tower. We have no idea what that is, you know. So that's moving towards interpretation. Now you can talk about what do you think? What's your interpretation? What do you think about this? What's going on? Right? What are your interpretations of what's happening here? What's all this stuff and why these things? Right? Why is that engineering book in the middle of the picture? Now you might have an interpretation about that because I think that there's a big theme that runs through this book that is about engineering and that this is a book about engineering, so they put that book in the middle of the center of the picture. Like that's an interpretation. Okay? So let's write 2 or 3 interpretations you have down of what you see. It doesn't have to correlate to what you see. Like you don't have to say, well, the baby doll with the diaper means this. You don't have to go back to that. You can write any interpretation about about the whole thing, about pieces of it, about what you think the story's about, any interpretation you want, anything you think about it. Okay, couple of interpretations from the room. What do we have? Who's got something? Over here? Yeah, Shannon.
It reminded me of Sid from Toy Story, but possibly a better version. She's taking broken things and putting them back together.
Ooh, so that's great. Broken things, putting them back together. That's a really nice theme to pick up too, and you made a connection to Toy Story. Great. Other interpretations? Yes, Lisa.
I said she's recycling, repurposing, and transforming the old into something new.
Wow. Whoa, that's a whole unit right there. Yes, boom. There you go. You got your first semester planned already with that one. Okay.
So she
Yeah.
seems like she might be a little disorganized.
She might be a little disorganized, huh? Her processes might be
Think of that like scientific mind sometimes.
right.
Bad scientists, like everything's everywhere.
Like our first ball activity. Yeah. Great.
I kind of think the opposite. I think she has all of this very planned out. She's just waiting for the other pieces that she hasn't found yet to create everything.
Great. So she's very disorganized and kind of chaotic processes to she has it all planned out and she's just looking for the right pieces to make it work. So great. Different interpretations, which is what's wonderful about this. There's not a right answer, right? We haven't read the book yet. Nobody knows. So we're exploring it. We have to teach the kids that they're not looking for the right answer here because we don't know. We're just interpreting. Yeah.
I interpreted it to be like all those things maybe affect like the choices she
All the materials affect the choices she makes in terms of what she builds. Excellent. Good. Last one, everybody, is what does it make you wonder? What questions do you have from this? It could be as simple as what is she building? That's a very obvious, that's the kind of thing a kid would ask, right? What is she building? Or what is she wearing? Is she wearing PJs or is she wearing, it can be a basic question like that to something much bigger. What questions do we have? Let's hear some real quickly, throw some out. We're not going to answer them, just ask them. Where is she? Where is she? In the house or in the world or what's the space, right?
Where is she?
Oh. Where is she in her mind? Metaphorically, yeah.
Is that just her imagination? Yeah.
Is that her imagination? Boy, that takes you to a different place. Never heard anyone say that before. I love that one, yeah. What's her ultimate goal here? Great question, yeah. Has she always been like this?
Do her parents know she has all those things?
Do her parents know she has all this stuff?
Why is she piercing everything?
Oh, yeah, that's the question I had today. The first time I saw the needles going through everything, it's a little weird, right? Why is she piercing everything with needles? Great question. What did the room look like 2 hours ago?
I wonder what she sees in her mind. Like, does she see this or does she see an end project? Is she envisioning what?
Ooh, I wonder what she sees in her mind, what she envisions, whether she can see the end or whether she's just moving step by step. Yeah, Molly.
We wondered if she has an end, or she's just gonna kind of keep adding, keep changing to it, or if there's a goal.
Is there a goal? Is there an end? Right, great. See, I know your name, Molly. See, that's the great about that opening activity. You at least know two people in the room. Okay, Molly, and Shannon. I know Shannon too, right? My other partner, see? Great, so perfect. So that's See, Think, Wonder. What are some ways that you can use this in your classroom? Building background knowledge and connections, prior knowledge, connecting to the kids' prior knowledge, what they already know. What else? Essential questions? What do you mean?
Weekly questions. You could do this process with each question at the beginning of the week.
Ooh, yeah.
Tell your stories.
Yeah, like back to our question of how do trees work, right? We could watch a little film on trees and then have this all about trees at the beginning of a unit. What do you see? What do you think? Like you could show a tree. What do you see about a tree? What do you think? What do you wonder? Okay, what else?
To hone in on their skills for observation, because when you first look at that and you just go, okay, that's just a big mess. But when you said, okay, I want you to describe things that you see, I started picking out individual objects and then describing them. And I think our kids are lacking that.
Really looking closely. Really look. Yeah, great. Yes.
Probably like to help drive your instruction, like to see what they're interested in.
To see where their thoughts are, where they go, right? One of the greatest things is that we often tell students what to learn, and this is really seeing where they are, hearing what their unique, the first graders will say the greatest things for this stuff. Yeah.
Gallery walks.
Tell me about gallery walks.
When I used to be in Elmore, I put different, for civil rights movement, I put different pictures of that around the room, and they walk
Ooh. So doing it more independently as a gallery walk, you've got this sheet and you walk around the room and look at different things, right? I've seen great teachers do things with inquiry walls, where you have see, think, wonder on the wall, and as you do more content, you can look at several of them, you add questions and questions to a wall. Fantastic, as they see different content. A couple things to notice. I gave you a picture, I didn't give any of your words, right? There were no words involved in this. So we took language out of it. Although you wrote stuff down, but you don't have to do it with writing. You can do it orally for kindergartners or first graders. But we take the words out of it. I never told you an interpretation. It's all about your thinking. It's not about my thinking. I just framed it for you, right? I did give you a couple examples so that you could know what I meant by what I was asking. And I allowed you time to talk in small groups or pairs, and then larger groups, so we could clarify any thinking, or if they're going in the wrong direction in terms of what they're seeing and how they're describing it, we can kind of correct that. These are thinking routines. They're meant to be used many times in the classroom, not so much that it becomes boring, but the first time it takes some heavy lifting to explain it and to take them through it, but then once it becomes a routine, you can say every Monday we're doing the See, Think, Wonder routine with an image from a book we're reading or with an artwork or with something we're studying. It's really wonderful, okay? So that's a thinking routine. We're using it as a way of entering the text. Obviously, this is from a book we're going to be working with today.